GAM Recap, a show where objectivity is manifested to the core.
The GAM Recap Show is a show that tackles all kinds of different topics. You name it. Politics is at the center of it, life topics. But at GAM Recap Show,
we talk about issues that matter to you, issues that are key to our upliftment and development. So join us every Saturday,
9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 5 p.m. GMT.
Hello, guys. What's up, Ibrahim?
Hello, viewers. Welcome back to the Gambia Capsule. Alwanyadi. Okay, Sungaro last ten to Dula. Wakatara energy banta. Ikari charge now and near charge Panandin, recharge no Valentine, Ibuka Nafilos, Ibuka Sapo Salino.
Eh, 1 year sooner to get Yesino.
Huh? I couldn't mess a lot of Funkasira Mutamuka Ngongari charge de Vari. Hi. Hi. Yeah.
But make special guest to have been a Maribina Islamo ko for a mole jambi Islamo versus Western ideologies. Like a Balla.
Because I like Balla.
Yeah, ngajele abe internet o janjan kanyen desol kono.
No, na jinko. Na ya ring gayalong. Yalong Nagal is funny. They are so funny.
But you know, with what he's talking about, you know, I do not, you know, I'm not contentious against the people that are asking those questions. You know.
Well, I mean, to look at his point though, I don't think, you know, he mira like I am mira kuti or whatever it is, because I'm wrong. It's social media jaman. So everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that, but even though you're entitled to your own opinion, then if you put it out there on the public forum, more people are entitled to respond, right?
Yeah.
So that's what brings about all these debates and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I kind of like the whole idea of stuff. So you ever go to TRRC on, was it Thursday? Yeah.
Wow. Okay, wow.
Ibe wa fukan de fo mu nekk la fi ijamalta
not GBL I was so embarrassed and Malta because
why
she was arrogant.
Why would you say that though?
She was rude, but I think another Nyami, she was trying to bully than the I don't know as a fault and some fun saying bully no. So
why would you say so? But should the council allow a witness to come and have that leverage enough to be able to bully her?
I mean, if you look at it, that's what she was saying. Because if you look at her, like even her accents are burning, you know, yep, akelo with attitude, and you know, I'm like, wow. You know, I mean, no doubt that she's, okay, she's educated and all that, but at the end of the day, he could have at least, you know, put the arrogant, you know, and the pride beside, I'm behind her or whatever the case may be, and you know, talk with respect and dignity. I mean, with all due to respect, you know, to be honest, I was disappointed the way she came out at the TRRC. Even the commissioners, you know, I don't know, man, but wow, that was just a wow.
No, but they personally,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
TRRC, has been going on for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been watching all the proceedings, and because of that, I pare nyinkuwa kamale already.
Yeah, I have like a man.
You understand? So, but then based on that, kumol mumfokang,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think basically you can fault her too much. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you can say coming, she might come off a little bit arrogant, this and this. But moment in Ninataje, you try to defend ila position, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that coming at Kumulmun defend, they are all right. They may not be right. Ikanjele.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on. Bala finger. So, but near Jibe Luala, for example, I won't explain about Lawyer Dabo La Soronganying.
Mm-hmm.
So either do you disagree with that?
Because I went to a point I give up because of the hello one tell was too much.
No, no. I think these people, those two people, I think they might have some sort of history, or whatnot. So, what I can different, I mean, that back and forth to me, is a personal thing. But when you look at the content, huh?
Uh-huh.
From the point of law,
Mm-hmm.
and I think no back it because Niajibe coming, ndenga no lual kasafele, ya jame lual safele.
Mm-hmm.
Pour que more, tajiri and the Gambia je,
Mm-hmm.
especially I lua mun use pour que lawyer da bol soro amanya na kela
Mm-hmm.
morally amanya na kela, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then a ketale, so muya tinda wo keta wo fana mu problem wolde, but
Mm-hmm.
luanyin imagine ateka la fole ko she is advising based on the point of law.
Mm-hmm.
So lua ko ne nyinke nyine be kelela, so atebe ole advice la
Mm-hmm.
o ya lon ko it's a bad law.
Mm-hmm.
Wo na parliament la responsibility lo wodi no pour ka wo luwa nyim fali.
Mm-hmm.
But ninna parliament ma wo luwa nyim fali yo luwa tuje.
Mm-hmm.
If people get charged by the police, ye
Mm-hmm.
nati tol ya, it
Mm-hmm.
also the job is it all their job is to interpret the law. It a
Mm-hmm.
job market to create the law. So it all about sila ya for okay, ni nyin luwa le tinya, so nyin punishment nyinte.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so from those perspectives, well, she's just sitting there about African Kuate. She did not do anything wrong to anybody. And from a realistic standpoint, she's right. I hate to admit it, but she's right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he must be right, but I think there's a way that she could have been professional about it, and um
All
not
right. So viewers, today, Keba Manyu Manano to be Afridamus. So I've been more joined next Saturday. He was busy today, so next Saturday Nana I'll be more joined. Asaje, Dulani Dia, I'll Asal Jelendidal. Yeah, but hey,
be the Chinese fellow again.
no. Japanese salon jokela. So mbenyine badukang na guest nying Balla Wally. I tell you more join na be Ali Balla Wally lonne. He's the one that the controversial Balla Wally, the opinion writer. Molka Damin Chode Ataka Jele Ma.
Alaga
So
Jelama.
especially when it comes to religion, tribes in Gambia and all those things. I tell you, he touches all those. So Mbatile Batukang, as soon as he joins, we'll be able to pick his brain and then talk about the issues, that are important to him and to our viewers as well. So King Job is like on new nala why naga def gainde. Nala dego swaji. Naka ite. No, tay show bi kila nyo indi fini Balla Wally, bottom Gambian Dream, the Gambia. He owns all those pages, man. He's providing a platform to a lot of content creators in Gambia. So that people can share their videos. Because the other platform will be whenever. Okay, he's here. Greetings, Mr. Wally.
Hey, I've been having issues connecting,
No
Can you
problem,
guys
sir.
hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can hear you very well. But we are on now. That's all that matters. Welcome to the
Okay.
show, Mr. Wally.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are glad to have you. And then let me just edify you a little bit. To the people that don't know you. Okay. So this is Balla Wally. The
Thanks for
Gambian.
that.
A Gambian based in Seattle, Washington. He's an opinion writer, but I would like to add the prefix controversial opinion writer there. You know what I mean? So, in coming back from earlier, Molka Damin Chodi Ataka Jelema, So, honey, nga sumasin na kan na sorla tele fatiata. Hata buga nya kalang kalang.
Well, I mean, that's how life goes,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I agree with you, man. That's how it goes,
Definitely.
So,
because
we are.
model ka chodile, model ka male, model ka katile.
Yeah.
So yeah, ida and katila lokono dal. That's what I believe in.
So we are glad to have you on this show. Ntolanyi show
Okay.
that is angale for mandi kan sura hule fula kan womu dia tere te afo danko drong jiber lali amo ya lo ite kamo fokori. So
Right. Right.
yeah, contently you're on the show today. So nkakuja male jeng metela writing so follow lale. But before that, I would just like to say some of the good things that you're doing online. You are one of
Okay.
those people Munya Lonko, even platform they can content creators only. You create a lot of these Facebook groups like the Gambia, Gambian Dream. And I think there are a few more out there that
Right.
you give access to a lot of these content creators. I'm even one of those people that you make admins to the page so that whenever we create something on on our pages, we share it. You have a whole lot of Fenco group members. So thank you for that. It's a lot of people that don't know that Ibo kicking in the background. And besides that, you have your own, Fenco company. Is it BBK? Can you say it? Inc.
Yeah. BBKINC. Yeah.
INC, yes. You provide a lot of computer related services. You build websites. You do a lot of stuff. You have a driving academy over there in Seattle that you teach people, how to drive and all that. So it's good things that you're doing in the community. Every now and then, KJL Fana, you put out things, for Seattle. Is it Puget Sounds? Islamic
Yeah. The
Society,
mosque.
something like that. The mosque, for donations. So you are very much in tune and into your community and into the whole entire Gambian community. That's something that is well appreciated, and we just wanted to thank you for your involvement. So, wokola,
Thank you for that.
ibadu ngete bula ite ifong efenke atodum.
Okay.
Looks like you're
So,
trying to do a computer.
so let me sort this one out.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Yaron, yaron mina fula ko bala fela e pare, bari yaron hakilo tara fula dolo kam boy.
Okay. Is this one working?
Nga hakilo tara fula dolo ka yaron fulo natalo diata yere. Italing ini Chinese all kayanda. Yaron ni dara New York boy, ni be jana Times Square wala 42nd Street. Chinese all ibe tambla dawa. Excuse me, picture. So fulo ngi bata na dal kana, bari bata na kanta muna tribulo lon nak. Na dal live banta. So ako tara waka ko pare na aka ko aka ko lampa bitakul de. Because
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a good one.
jero bala mare.
Gante na hanyla jele la wala. Nga manjele nga nyingole ja.
Ya yero jare.
Yes. So okay, Bala, you back in? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Thank you. So Bala,
Yeah.
without further ado, let's just get right into this because we have consumed a lot of time. So the
Definitely.
Mala first is before we ease our way into the Islamic topics or Western ideologies,
Right.
post Gambia nyanta one language le adopt la in Gambia.
Right.
So ngalo na ko Gambia na languages so are more than 8 or the tribes or whatnot, but English wasn't the official language in Gambia. So
Yeah.
because of the differentiation of tribes, I think from my own opinion, English being the official language is celebrated by many because now ikajiloko there is no bias. Comme name mandingo keje Osura or Flo Serero, Jola, Sarahule, Bambara, whoever or by when you call name keje, the other tribes will have a problem. But if you bring out outside language to be the medium of instruction and the official language, Ngajeloko probably may not be a big problem. But you define that opinion. So can you just tell us why you think that should be the case?
Yeah, so I think some people kind of must misunderstand me on that issue. If you see my previous articles, I stated I wasn't talking about actually an official language. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the official language. I have stated that we can keep English language as an official language, but now I mean, half of the Gambia or 75% of the Gambian population cannot speak English. And we know traditional language is so powerful in our country. But because of these traditional languages, because every tribe is trying to, secure their own either language or tradition, it's kind of separating us far apart. Because at Jubeba, let's look at it in politics. When it comes to UDP, when it comes to the MPP, when it comes to DOI and other things, party members only, in a leadership, whatever tribes they belongs to, that's what majority of those tribes support. So I think that the second thing is when it comes to language, ikaye ko momo la tala language le preserve, swal la tala language le preserve, maninko la tala preserve, and other circulars and other things. Government not so called my in-laws. Yeah, so well play in a language you preserve. So every tribe is preserving in either their language or their culture. So based on that, have a difference by the Natica. But when we come up with a one unique language, as time goes on, everybody will be forced to speak that language. So or different traditional language or cultural tribe difference because one of the problem with in Gambia, we are supporting each other based on our tribe. We are supporting each other based on the language we speak. So that's why I came up with that suggestion. And when I look at the tribes, some tribes, based on the largeness, Benjamin, like Mandinkula Sierra, Fulul Bol Noma, then we have Wolofs, and then probably we have Jolas or Sarakules. But when you look at Jolas, Jolas, Fulas, and Jagos,
Yeah, I mean,
they
like,
don't speak their language beyond their community or beyond their homes. So, well, they are totally eliminated. So it's Shua, Maninko, and Sarakulo. Sarakulos, when you look at them, they don't have an issue speaking other people's language. So now the debate is between Mandingos and Wallachs. But when you look at the population of Mandingos, it's far way more than Wallachs. So basically, when you put all those things together, I came to the conclusion that because Mandingo Lesare, the majority did. So and Mandingo right now, yellow dialect sorole, and there are schools Melan can teach count. So when you put everything together, I think Mandingo language would be qualified to be additional to English language. May I don't have difference so that's how I get to my conclusion.
Wow, Kumo is rich. But today, what I have to say in that is, even though any variations in languages, so you broke it down. You made a personal assumption, maybe foolers, Sarahules and these people do not have a problem adapting to speaking other people's languages outside of Itola Kordal Kono. So you believe that based on those assumptions, then Mandinka and probably Wolof, those two are the leading Fenkol tribes of Mialko. People should adapt those languages. Okay, so
Yes.
you're saying that like nte I'm a Serere, so I don't have a problem speaking another language outside of my home. Maybe I'm mandinga come for nga sura come for outside. I speak those because model mumbe banta imam mandinga come imam sura imam Serere come so mbe come le follow gale mumwe. So I get that point. But do you think all those other languages combined, because Mandinko compose about 45% of Gambia population. Surwal Fanang, about 20 something, I believe. So do you think other tribes in the Solning, are they going to be bitter that that's happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not gonna like it, but it can't you be like you are looking we are here, we are looking for solution to a particular thing. So
Yeah.
when that comes, some people might feel uncomfortable. Obviously, never decision or decision make. Even at the president, never decision or make la. Don't support la, but don't favor la, but don't favor. What is more important is the purpose of it, and then I be more lead condemning, because there's so much division in Gambia. Whether you tribes live for, you language live for, you political live for, you religion live for, it's separating us far apart. So we have to come up with solution, and I'm ready for people to make their solution, but most of the people online, they are just denying, but they are not coming up with their own way and being solved for Nyame. So I'm not the only one. If you have a better option, so put it out, and then we all debate. I do know, because remember, I'm not disrespecting Jolas or Fullers. I have Fuller in me. I'm not disrespecting them. But nimantari la language you speak beyond your home. Obviously, near Gambia, you be Suwan Mandin Kolaka for bag. Yeah. So most of the office is Suwa, but when you are in town, and away from the capital areas, you speak Mandinko. So they are more influenced language, two of them. So that's why the debate is between them. And Suwale, they're becoming powerful too because of Senegal. But you see, even though Nia Jube, let's say Niko Suwaka language to Gambia, it's going to be a problem, because Mandinko, they are the majority, and they're going to feel like, oh, you are disrespecting the majority. So therefore, the majority always carries the vote. But let's look at the purpose. Let's not look at, because nobody need tribal, they need tribal. We are trying to solve a problem. And in order to solve a problem, some people has to, do the content and do the content. But
Mhm.
in the long run, the solution will come.
Okay, in the long run, the solution will come. So, okay, from a holistic standpoint, because in Ibrahim, do you have anything left to add, Lord?
Um, no, because I mean, in a way, I think I kind of agree with Bala. I'm for because trying na yalo ko ni si fatam faso be mina kang excuse me. Ni si fatam faso be mina kang I mean between Manding Call and Surwal because they are I mean because of Manding Call are the majority then yes Surwal sort of. So you come by for agree jele come you see all my bank pour can mola can do for but I beat that another wrong the more long Manding Call is long socially all of these socially all of the which I feel like Gambia do at a back away like see see all the fatam fancy comme ide a fanyare excuse me ni come fengere is a smooth noted right
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
no but yeah I think I somehow agree with Bala.
All right, so Bala, nte go Juve Nyaming, nte ba Juve come from a holistic standpoint, right?
Right.
You know, Gambia could be Gambia is not actually a test case because this has been proven. I walked aside in Doltole. For example, Tanzania, they ditched English, and adopted Swahili as a language, right? Of instructions and Fenko as the official language. So it can happen in Gambia, but Ntenga Amiradal, before we even adapt that, we have to come up with ways, can the language will be promoted in terms of writing. You understand? If we come up with Franco Mandekakao as our medium of instructions and the official language, in offices and all that. So do you think we even ready or for that?
No, we are not ready. We are way far. But the film focus sign. For me, I'm talking about the future generation because the late
Mhm.
generation now in 20 years that's passing. So everything that we're doing, Bible can put a generation. Then there are two men. Maybe in the future generation of canals will not go through that. And
Yeah.
then the second thing is the language itself, because near Jube, English, we cannot remove English. We cannot replace English in our country because right now Lincoln Walker is going to be another issue. So basically, official language, I'm not advocating to change the official language, but official language English, one difference not in tema. It doesn't bring any difference. Near Jube, President na Kamada. President in how many different interpreters to lekara, nibe na jamal kono o yin events bal soro. Gambians are spending so much time and energy on translating our to the traditional languages. So they are not, yeah. So you translate from English to Wolof, English to Fula, English to Mandinka, and all that in TRRC Jubeka time men spend o kuna. So when you put all these things together, I think it's important that we come up with a one unique traditional language. I mean, Abemu for the purpose. That's what I'm after. The reason why we're doing it and for the purpose of doing it. That's the most important thing.
Okay, thank you for that. Sunte, even amongst my friends, I advocate for Nkafenko, okay, using Swahili as the official language of all of Africa, by the way, because it's to me is the most spoken language in Africa, considering countries of Kenya, Qatar, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania. Akafosatil muntu isia batale, and I think we should all ditch. From a personal point, English, Arabic, and Spanish, Portuguese, French, in Africa. We should ditch that and come up with our own African language. And that way we can be respected, anyways. But not to take too much of your time. The next friend call after topic against Jizzle,
Okay.
Gambian artist, I support. He gave out donation of food items, I believe, to the Mile 2 prisoners.
Right.
And you wrote a piece against that. You call Manyana Kela.
Right.
So Idako, he's using those funds, to feed criminals and murderers and rapists and all those people. Whereas he should have invested that money in in the communities
Right.
that he live in. More there are people that need that money way more than the prisoners. Give us a little bit more on that. I just want to kind of get into a reasoning behind that because I kind of differ in opinion, but I wanted you to dig deeper into it. So Saturday, I can come back and ask you more questions than that.
Most people. Yeah. So first of all, I mean, calling prisoners criminals. Well, coming there in Yaming, and most of the Gambians are in Yaming, it's quite different. But you cannot say the prisoners are not guilty. That's one. Yeah, and I do know not all prisoners in mile two are criminals. Yeah. So more understand because one more la more be ni kai ko criminal la ta sonna because in Gambia la way of thinking London nenda ko criminal Italia ko because there are people are there obviously they will say they are not criminals no matter
Mhm.
what they do, what thing they committed, what crime they committed. Yeah. So I do apologize for calling them criminals, but here my point is near Gambia Jube, right now, there's so much things going on, so much hardness in Gambia. There are a lot of orphanage in Gambia. Musoli hospital, or people are dying almost every week or so.
Mhm.
Mbalu Cham is out there, collecting bloods for women.
Mhm.
Saint Ture is out there collecting donation. Ka orphanage in Mago, ka dinner Mago. So as an artist, in your jubelale, every current situation, put in your money. It's called you did economics, we call it what opportunity cost. So you have to leave some alternatives for other things. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, so but in that right now, Kakudo spend will kuna and spending money on the prisoners, you have to debate and see. So when Jesus does that, I would expect Jesus right now, private hospital to I could investigate, right? Orphanage area, I could investigate, or even I the moral sang some needy people, other needy people outside. But the jail system, it's government's responsibility because government more tax money less use can prisoners should balloon day. And the second thing is among the prisoners should they are not being feeding. Because when I say that people think about Africa because prisoners should they also deserve, to be fed and stuff like that. No, they are feeding the prisoners. But you know what? You don't expect to be in prison. It could do bolo solo. No. Just like Nimombo outside of Guram, complete Guram bolo solo. No, it doesn't go. It doesn't work like that. There is a purpose. There's a reason why they are in jail. They obviously they have the right to feed. But for an artist, at this magnitude to go into the prison, you could spend what when there are other important projects, more productive projects. If I were him and other artists, I would invest in more productive projects. Maybe Dinil Markwela, even the Musul Markwela, maybe Wulukang, they are lacking blood and other things. Hospital material. It's going to be more helpful in terms of in a broad way than just going into just praising the Quaker Mall market. I didn't say Jisul is not helping out because now the last year I saw things that he did, but for this one, in my own opinion, I think he would have spent the money wisely on projects that are more productive than prison feeding the prisoners.
Okay, thank you for that. At least you given an in-depth explanation. So I think you kind of omitted most of these explanations in ila article nyinto. So which kind of forced people to go into the hang up. People started criticizing. But then you made one point, Jay. It's government's responsibility to feed the prisoners. But if your code mentioned he should focus on certain areas like maybe the hospitals, the needy, stuff like that. So the hospitals, I think, don't you think Wolfgang is government's responsibility? But why do you think it's okay to go into one sector that is the government responsibility, but not the other sector? Because now the prisons, okay?
Right,
Things happen. There's a reason people go to jail or prison, and some of these people committed crimes and are remorseful of those, or not just remorseful, but they are contrite of illa crimes. All right,
right,
and they are there, and prison should serve as a rehabilitation place. And when you're rehabbing these place people, you should make sure that they have access to food, clean water, and all that. So by the time, so they can learn skills in the prison system. So by the time Ningal Funtita out of prison, they are skilled enough and rehabilitated enough to where when they come out, they're not going back to doing the same things that took them to prison in the first place.
right,
Okay? They're gonna come back, as well chiseled people, redefined people, good members of our community. So I don't think personally it's not a bad investment to feed those people, especially during Ramadan, right? Because we know the government la constraints all when it comes to providing for the prison systems. We've heard on TRRC, they were feeding these prisoners at one point, dead Fenko carcasses. You understand?
right,
So with all those, Hadamadimo, if you invest in one area, people are always gonna say, no, you should have invested in this, spent your money in this area. So, but sometimes we cannot spend our money in all these areas at once.
yeah,
So maybe he sat down and think, okay, this might be an area where these people are less fortunate. The government spending towards those people is meager. How about instead let me complement the government's efforts and provide that food? Maybe the Okodo Ateo food will provide instead of the government spending that money towards that now, the
right.
government could divert that money into those sectors that you're talking about. Ibrahim, chime in on that and then give Bala a chance.
Um, I'll jump into that, like, and what Bala says, like, it's not like all these prisoners, not everybody is guilty. We all know, even here, there are some of these prisoners that are being locked up that they're not guilty. They either especially in Gambia. Some of them might be political prisoners, that because of they don't get along with the government and stuff like that. Secondly, Bala touched a point that yes, the prisoners is they paying whatever it's our taxpayers money that they are using to feed them and stuff like that. So yes, it's a government responsibility. Um, for the pregnant women, the orphanage, and all that. That's the hospitals are government responsibility as well. But if we have a government that care less about our hospital system or healthcare system, I think us as Gambians, if we put our hands together and lend a hand, we can really make a change in our healthcare system. So Balala point, I point Mumajang is a very important point because okay, Jisul, yes, Mama Foko used to not help the prisoners, but when Mansa Kunda la from quality. So when Mansa Kunda my from Dogo okay, Purka prisoners ultima. I feel like okay, it's a cooking of an amuya lonko. Come like na Jada Candela, fanala. Because Najela Gambia, every one out of Muso, Mulbe Ulula for Mosi Fakono because of either ala yellow amanketa yellow la or kudol, But
Mhm.
yeah, so ndela point dal na mira ko nin jisul fana ya blo la mulbe duma je be donational collect kai be blood all fenjakan and because atafana makamu dami pra afana I will dema so they can all tackle this together. Mafuga manya prisoners all day, my lad. So who knows? Maybe I battle no sort of mbj or I friend no sort of mbj. So no longer fan mbj.
My point is, it doesn't have to be a bad OBJ, but the numbers are there. You understand it, but they're not well reported. They're underreported. But the prison system on Munuka Faje in Gambia is a lot, but they don't get to the news. Coming this, how these other people like someone died at the hospital giving birth. These people need help. These people need help. Let's do GoFundMe for them. Or maybe let a celebrity help them out. Those you don't get to hear, but the prison system, you invest in those people, make sure they are fed well, regardless of the crimes that they've committed, let them come out as reformed people, as reformed people, and then they can contribute to the productive base of our economy. Because the goal is for them to be in prison and learn skills in there. So, Bala, what's your take on that?
Yeah, those are all good things that one could do. But remember, it's not like they are not feeding the prisoners. Maybe they're not just getting what they want enough. They're not getting, enough probably.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I don't have issue, helping the prisoners. But in America here too, I don't see any celebrities that's investing in the prison system. They are helping them. They leave everything to the state or the private companies that owns prison system. So and Gambia because ibafo kan ku well ibida neither prisoners of market barajo lo sunkaro kon barajo lo. We do understand that, but also remember Islam we for about aiding criminals or aiding rapists or murderers. So we have to be careful in that. We cannot from the dino dunla nanje because the barajo lo sorokan. No, Islam often is against people melalon ko ibi aid kan melalon ko the murderers or rapists and things like that. Yeah, so and the skill thing is important. But you have the prisoners also markwela. They melong if you want like Makati no would make a like a prisoners only careful later do call I don't know rice fields. So
I feel so
yeah,
bad.
you can make them productive by going there. Say, you know what? How about a prisoner someone that's clean? We give them, some form of payment and things like that. That's how you make them productive. But Gambia system or prison system or it about skills men for come. I don't know if there's any way one can establish some kind of skills for prisoners over there because first of all, Ikela Dagan Fang is not proper. So will this skill Karanola Nyadile after rehabilitate la? It's gonna be a challenge. Though I wish the government can step in and do that. But in order for private people to do that, it has to be led by a government. Yeah. So and the last thing about this is that prisoners are not in immediate danger compared to the orphanage soul, the pregnant women soul. They are in immediate danger. So helping those people right now, I think is more significant than try to help the prison system. Again, I'm not saying Jesus should not, but what I said was the reason. Sorry, the reason why I said was because of Gambela situation of Benyamia. Sometimes make a kudo block kudo le would have been more productive now or section on your map. And the other thing is that you see some people baffle anyway. The orphanage, Ilamul should have take care of them. Many are pregnant women, and most should have take care of them. But look at Gambela orphanage, Acosta Nyadile. There are a lot of factors Acosta Nyame because don't be the Mela Bamal in a parental father. Don't be the Mela you're divorced with 5 children, 5 kids. Musol mantar do kola, Kewli Ebule Mantari didn't take care of. So Musol cannot take care of them. So they have to go into orphanage places. Musol Menkafa Femko. Ikabo community leto or Ikabo family to me alonko. They are not well educated. They are not well secured. Fentable. So some people have to be helped outside. So there's a whole lot of things here, but people became mirror wall bag. It'll come in Jube. Oh, I be Marco can have a brand or sonoka. Yes, but it never more from Marco along can be mel Marco because it more be Marco no barrage. Some people Nico Marco in an Islamic way, maybe be you wall of an sonoka.
Okay. That sounds interesting. So let's move on to a third category.
Okay.
So janim beduna kono mbe nyinin kala question olla.
Okay.
Ite amere Islamu.
Mm.
Famo la dino nying be mum practice kan.
Yeah.
And in Western civilization, can they go in tandem? Is that on your level?
Well, I mean, it all depends. Yeji nyaming. Because in Islam, there's 2 things. You are either extreme or non-extreme. Yeah. So if you have a non-extreme ideology, then it's gonna go with the Western civilization. But if you have an extreme ideology, you cannot go with it. And let me define because Ninko extreme ideology here it's more misinterpreted misinterpretation of the verse of the Quran. Nikrano ko Nibida Seattle, you have to take I-5. But it'll come for no I-5 highway 99. Yeah. You see, so these are some of the extreme interpretation because you can make it ideas solely not now. And the ideas are coming not even coming from them, but it's coming from people who been existing millions of years ago. They call it not now, so you cannot even get the coloration it can meant for. So these are some of the extreme ideologies. But if you have non-extreme ideologies, then the Western civilization another term.
So when you say extreme ideologies, these are words that we need to be very careful to use back here, right? So like George Bushwell came with those words, extremism. You understand?
Yeah.
So when they see a Muslim that practices Islam the way it's supposed to be done, they term you as an extremist Muslim. You see? So,
Yeah.
but when you dumping Islamic your version of Islam because to allow yourself to fit in the Western society, they say to you a moderate Islamist guy. So until amongst ourselves, we have to be. Do you think our version of what they define as moderate and until saying until accept can for that to be that? So do you think that moderate version of Islam is the way to go? Because I think is a weakened form of iman in a way.
No, well, okay. In a weekend form, as long as it is 5 fundamental principle of Islam you follow, there's nothing you're going against. Yeah, because Islam is built on 5 principles. Yeah, the pillars of Islam. Yeah, so no moderate person will go against the 5 pillars of Islam. I don't see. If you go against the 5 pillars of Islam, then you are out of the perimeter of Islam. So modernism in Islam, I think, is because Nyaju Mojamal Bola advocate ka. The reason why by advocate ka, because look, Nindel be Gambia or even Saudi Arabia, not America. You come to the Western world with your iman, with your Islamic ideology. You want to put that on that society. The society doesn't know. They don't know. They have their own way of life. They have their own beliefs and things like that. So I think people should advocate for moderate Islamic way. It's not a weak. I don't see it as a weak commit iman, as long as Ibela fundamental, Ibela 5 pillars of Islam in Kamandeka. And the reason why extremism, well, extremism could be defined in different ways. But yaro neaje will find be Islam or extreme because yaje ko extreme things in Islam. Let's say when it comes to terrorism, other part of terrorism is in Islam, other part of terrorism is not in Islam. Look at Saudi Arabia, just to commit just a protest. When you protest, they can kill you for that. So are you gonna tell me that that's not extreme? Na more the so they believe protest is against the will of God. And if you do that, you need to be put away. Saudi Arabia can behead people here for just protest. So you're telling me that that's not extreme in Islam? Because Alaba you protest and you are liable to be killed. So I mean, a bit from it's all come to one thing. We just have to. I think we just have to be tolerant, and that's what modernism is all about: tolerance.
All right. So, Kajale, then thank you for that. Even cool Safekan regarding that. And lastly, Kabring Oboy Funditanang, Yakumol for then, he went and donated to this Arabic school. And those guys, I think Basiru Sisa and Yusuf, Benada, people were for that because somebody's, I think, was it Yusuf that said that was against Islam? Music is haram and stuff like that. And Basiru and then came and saying, Atandi mola fenko kono, Quran alaya for damin ko music or haram tale. Or kodol haram tale. So, what's your take on that, on people? Because lately, mostly most of these people are being defensive instead of coming to and answer the question.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on that?
Yeah. So in fact, before that debate, when Oboy went there, I wrote that Oboy should have not even go there and give him donation. Because of why? Because of criticism mentioned a lot. Because it's more clean like Kaloika for Commission better. Then he cannot, ni Oboy they are accepting the thing. But again, it's coming from Oboy's heart. Yeah. So, but Diko Filman better Islamo Konumbea before things qualify kwa mambeda Islam kono Al Quran or Hadith na tarajela. But sign if Yusuf is standing in front of people akafu mole ko misugo mambeda, then kana dol funtu na rekay ko ye evideno je damen aitande mola. All what Yusuf need to do is go to the Quran or the Hadith and pull the evidence. Dr. Sabir Ali, I put share video share where Yininka, about music, he went detail. He couldn't find it. So none of those scholars, just follow Lomba on the Gambia scholars or member from Misuko better. They are not educated than Dr. Sabir Ali. So Nika for Moloko film and better. And you yaron ko al Missil Mealcom. Kana information, kana source of information sort of from the Quran or Hadith. Nika Mbedia, a pool nang mole yaitin the mole ko, a senaran ko, Nimbedia. Because Gambia have near Jube until Arab count long. Very few percentage know how to speak Arabic. Quran Fankari, very few percentage know. So it can depend na ustasola narration or interpretation. If those people make mistake, we don't call them out. We don't mislead. And this is what the stand is for most of us. Near film for ngalon ko nga research some kind of I told the mistake we did. We want to point out, so that's going to help everybody. But Gambian or Benjamin, they point out they become defensive. Ibe Islam will fight come, Ibe Kira disrespect come, Ika question on Benjamin is deviating people's mind away from Islam. I mean, it's just hard.
Okay, I get your point. So, but I don't know, man, because I do follow you a lot, and you do make some of those controversial statements. I mean, to a point that where people would say either you are questioning the fate of Islam. Either I believe probably you're Muslim, right?
Yes.
Okay, so people will ask, like go to like Gambia, Benyami, como you move for? A lot of us practice Islam because we found ourselves in Islam. But
Yes.
there are certain things that we don't ask ourselves or because nga miro ko ninga nyininka mbe dankalale or stuff like that.
Right.
But ite you go deep into asking these questions and you kind of make these people uncomfortable, you know. so so tell me because I saw you put a post out there coming you talking about fasting, should Allah punish us, why should Allah you know why should we suffer, to please God?
Right.
So was that a rhetorical question, or did you really mean that question? Because I heard some people are saying Bala just makes this outrageous post, just to get attention. So are you doing this to get attention, or are you really concerned? Are you really asking a genuine question?
No, first of all, if I needed attention, I'll call my wife, so I'll get a good attention. Yeah, so the attention part is just not accurate. So
Yeah.
next question on Yininka, I mean, based on look, there you found not posting Kasia during the Ramadan, people get hungry, we get bored, so we should have something to talk about. COVID be caring. I've been sitting here, I don't go out for almost a year. So we got to talk about something. But
Hey, sasa ikakato for the Bala.
yeah, okay. Yeah. So, okay, so I ask questions. I mean, it depends if Maria receive nyame. When I posted that, if you see, bring out post yesterday, Fanang, I post something
Yeah.
that, yeah, because bring out post, I have special people like Sidat and Lamin Damfa. They
Yeah.
respond, yeah, they respond. New question on Yininka. There's a question there because there's a question mark in front of it. But the bottom of it now for what I'm going through and what hunger is putting us. Look, Nico, why do we have to suffer to please God? It's simple. Give me the straight answer. Why are you fast? I will tell you not fasting and you suffering just to please Allah. We want barrage from Allah because Father, there's heaven, and hell. So everybody want to go to hell. So that's why Islam, the beginning, in the history of Islam, Misimul Bararle, they've been killed. They went through so many wars and jihad. Aren't we suffering still? We still suffering. Even though we're going through all these things, staying 24, I mean 12 hours without no food, we are suffering. So when I ask that question, just give me your response. Then even more mind maybe Islam will fight count. Some people see it that way. But yesterday I posted another one, try to clear people's mind. I'm just asking a question. Just give me the answer. But don't judge me just because no question on you ask. And Islam, in order for us to know Islam, we should be ready to ask questions because Arabic school, I quit Arabic school. Arabic school, the teacher I meant for it. Arabic students, they are told not to ask questions because the more you ask questions, the better they will. But that right there is wrong because the more you ask questions, how about if they don't know the answer to that? I follow more answer long. Do more research because everything is Islam should have an answer. So Banita Kaf Moleko, the more question you ask, you are deviating people's mind from Islam. I don't get it.
Okay, got you. Raheem, you got something to add on that?
Uh, No, what kind, not really. I saw it on on the page on Facebook. And for me personally, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna agree with everything that Bala said, but Nigeria for to go to the extreme, the extreme part. Jang yalo ni go drong you are extremist. Ito kay GB kubo la kay GB la koy mo si fa lo ti mu yalon ko la fa dulalo janjanna wala la fa dulalo ti la. So just Janin Balai joined on bring ni ben jang come na mo for everybody is entitled to their opinion. Ke hamga na londol fa nan jam fa jam ti la. Sa ni tamang kulon bi you know, Arabu, Islam wala kuota. Nyamira ni na question post, nying fangu karani ulo, Arab karani ulo yantam di mala ye auto jabi ni. So, but nina Arab karani ulo fanan so we alon ko, like, hania question meaning ka they trying to contradict you or whatever, So, last week na topic ma janne, rin na topic ma fanan, e hakilo ba kang man fay ben jele bringing uh
Ramos.
Afridamos beninje but now topic mala demanding and for me in term fire was like yeah jebe na so you know journal be there mama muna get up but behind no you yeah I don't know energy can claim
Alright, kana good and good. What do we get so time la water? So Bala,
Yeah.
going into if I couldn't go but other journal review and then and what it's just after one man.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, you have almost 6.5 hours to go, So just
What?
he has 6.5 hours to go.
Okay.
And not on the show. The show we got probably 5 minutes to wrap up. But
Oh,
I just wanted to ask though, coming Gambia thing, Nkamoljele, Futu Cool, and I think back then, I've seen you write on those before. The
right.
issues with polygamy.
Right.
The society, though, a lot of people kavoko they are polygamous because Islam only so right nyinna. So
Right.
what divorce cases so come for abandoned kids all ite mune miracle what's the role that polygamy plays into that? I mean Mojama Bije, do you think a polygamy practice just because they want to fulfill their religion or musukole kadneka dunwoko?
Congo bena nyao yansa oto manole
Go ahead, Ibrahim. I'll follow you.
no okay so for polygamy trial okay namira Gambia no saka okay. Let me make this clear. Yeah, Gambia yanda Africa in general, Senegambia, Qatar, no Tundo leje. Yanda mo understand la. Islamu aning culture wala aning tradition no fatatale. Tradition no aning culture na utara mamanyol. Bari nka Gambia le, nka Senegal le, nka na Tundo do le. Ika Islamu ning culture fenke ba it mix back le. Ika la file Islamu ni kuma da killing ya foko be Islamu use la. Okay, I think I raised this topic once myself. Nko, why, nina musole kunin suba salo na kamfa. But when you come to Pruka Musufula Nyaw Yining, Niko killing doron, you go ha, abe alkura, alal ko ha, teninten wala abe sunnolong. But anin satolo fanan nata nyonna. So it's a point mark for Gonia being of an age, Musolmi and Kotoyalon, polygamy from Kupadjama play jele because Nakebal Alma Ala Yafura, but Nakebal Jamal Nakeba Jamal Mantiling, Nianata Musufula Kuola. Yaka mojele sa Musoba Bula, Nimuya Kote Cotignona, Brim Fente Bulu. They started from nowhere. So saying Tata for sign, cool Kumasaka Betia wrong, I more doje. I mean, I modoje. I ta, I ala kuol ke duma kana ka fo muska ma yeso musolo la. Kantun, most of them make all use yeso musolo la. Nakeba kende dolo yeso musola. Sa yalon ta fo no la hani. Okay. Secondly, near use sign wo dol fam buka use as a dol ka ke duma le. Yana sign is up to you. Ito mo muskeba mati. You bear with that in IC wala yeta. So ofane I ofane siandi na society kono bakele. Intela jeroto anina miroto. That's definitely my take on that part.
Okay, so Bala, what's your take on that, man?
Yeah, I think Ibrahim is right. Polygamy it contributes a lot, because nientela fenkol jube mbamal jube melialon ko polygamy sort, ikamuso nyine Cindy, they don't even do nothing for them, muso ka struggle, koda dulu bielme anko muso le fan ka baluwanade, they can only be seen right. So and this other generation franka menke ikamuso nyine ne ine ding soro ine problem was right ye bula. There's no law in America here. They force you to, if you don't want to take care of your kid, they force you to do it. You go to child support. Gambia mo system osoro. So kyon balo be friend ne kamuso nyine ne nina problem osoro ya a divorce ya na deal send some of the case and fast wala kon. So kana jero. Ordinarily musoma fensoro cannot take care of the kids. Her husband is not supporting. I can support the men. I could call the killing chicken. I'm also doing it. I know a problem also. I don't want to mention this place because if I will say Maracasula, I'm not going to be attacked, but a Jiko Doma Nembe wala fola because a polygamy use like Islamo. They have the right to a Mussolini. So you can Mussolini in the Cindy in a problem also the Ebola, if a Muslim in Marcas Jamal Jube, they went through divorce so many times. So all those things when you put it together, I actually know call often it is Seattle, and they need to be helped. So this polygamy thing is a for musukola ka dol Islamo le dunala, but how Islamo for them for need to muso take care nola. Imanya na nyinina. Okay, but Islam, when you go to the Quran, there is equal you muso nyinin based on koiba mako inola, but it clear twistle equal because you cannot love two women together. You can't. It is muso and muso. You cannot have it equal. But it can mona for you. Neo for ikafoko hani dingle. It be called kind you know. Inte dingle ngebe kind la. Where kelon o muso lo ngebe kind equally. So ikaw example le ka fo ko ala mo fe musu fulo kind because hani dingle it take kind you know. I don't get that point. So all these things contribute a lot to new orphanage member caring, didn't become true men now, and there need to be a solution, and we have to call what it is.
Yeah, of course, spade a spade. I
Yeah.
guess
All right. So thank you, man. We already time when you see that Bala.
Yeah.
I appreciate having you on the show, and ila contribution is meaningful and content ila ko back. Even though go muna continue, continue to be critical, ask those questions. Even sometimes if you agree or even if you know the answers to these things, it's important to pose the questions because modo bijele bumbe bantamun left or answer so long bari malong. So you putting it out there gives them an avenue for them to learn. So keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you coming to the show. Any final words?
Yeah, I really appreciate for inviting me. Yeah, so this is a dream come for me, so I definitely appreciate it, and then hopefully we'll do more of these.
Yes. We look forward to that, man. I'll talk to you sometime soon. And Rahim, what you got, man? Wrap this up for us.
wrap it up. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're not plus with he became a host. I became the baby. I understand. Sunkarola, be guy.
Okay.
Yalong, never gambang. I know le be I know junale. Sunkaro no junale be it is what it is, man. Sometimes I'm gonna jato funka boy, yeah, okay. Once again, thank you very much for coming and thanks for watching. To follow us, we will see you guys again next Saturday at 5 p.m. Gambian time and 12 p.m. Texas time. Allah baraka bake. For next time, inshallah.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you, Bala. We'll connect soon. Thank you guys for watching. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube, LSTV1. And please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. Thank you, Bala, and I will see you guys next Saturday.